In his prime, Mike Tyson was an absolute animal who reduced some of the titans of the sport to ashes.
And lands. Tyson knows he's got him in big trouble. If he doesn't answer it...
Thomas trying to hold on. Serious trouble, and down he goes.
But heading into his next fight against Jake Paul, at 58 years old, some think he might not be the same force of nature he used to be.
Wow. But there's a name for somebody that beats up old people. Well, it's called a bully, it's called a thug, it's called a fucking demented lunatic.
Others still see Tyson as the angel of doom.
Not normal, but he's still like a professional heavyweight boxer. He's still terrifying.
Despite the split opinions, Jake Paul is unfazed and is locked in on securing a massive win against an even bigger name.
He's the final boss, moving up to heavyweight and continue to prove all these dumbasses wrong. That's what I do my whole entire life.
The question is, will Jake Paul put his money where his mouth is? Or will he crumble like Tyson's rivals and taste the dust before he even sees it coming? Let's find out. From 1985 to 2005, Tyson competed against the world's scariest heavyweights, knocking them out left, right, and center while winning multiple titles. Iron Mike dismantled behemoths like Frank Bruno, Buster Mathis Jr., and Michael Spinks.
He's ever been down in a professional fight. And he's down again.
In his first 4 years as a professional, Tyson was the baddest man on the planet as he won and defended his WBA, WBC, IBF, and the ring heavyweight titles like it was child's play. In the next 16 years, however, Tyson had his ups and downs, partly due to his troubles outside of the cage.
And I submit that Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson that won the title against Trevor Berbick, the Mike Tyson that beat Larry Holmes, I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody f***s with him. He didn't maintain that form.
From a broken marriage with Robin Givens,
that Mike has a very volatile temper. True?
Extremely volatile temper. I think people see that about every 3 months.
to imprisonment for rape.
A Marion County grand jury in Indiana is going to decide whether charges should be filed against the former heavyweight champion who is accused of raping a woman, reported to be a contestant of the Miss Black America contest, which took place in Indianapolis 2 weeks ago.
Tyson's rowdy behavior outside led to his downfall, yet he still managed to bag wins and send people to the dark lands. Things spiraled so wildly for the former heavyweight champ that he ended up filing for bankruptcy in 2003.
2003, you declare personal bankruptcy after making $300 million.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, besides me having a lot of fun, I allowed people to be involved in my life that really wasn't honest people, and it really wasn't, and that was my fault. I should have paid more attention to my business.
By 2010, Tyson's finances were back on track, thanks to business ventures and movie appearances. And by 2013, he had fixed most of his loose ends. While Tyson was battling bankruptcy and clawing his way back to the top, Jake Paul was just another kid on the block. Paul's breakthrough came in 2013 when he rose to fame by posting vines.
I like snow.
Soon, he was all over YouTube and Disney. A few years later, Jake would take up boxing for influencer showdowns. He started out by taking down a few rookies like himself.
He's trying to get to the ring.
And that's when he knew he had something special.
My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. $50 million cash, proof of funds. The biggest fight offer you've ever been offered, but you're scared to fight me, Connor. You're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a fucking YouTuber.
With just 2 professional wins under his belt, Jake started calling out UFC fighters. And Ben Askren, a wrestler of all people, was one of the first to respond.
In my academy, what's this guy all about? And they said he's a bully, he's a dick.
Needless to say, Askren was sent to the Darklands. Askren's buddy Tyron Woodley tried to avenge his best friend's loss, but he was taken out twice. The second time by a thunderous knockout.
Has done it from time to time, just hasn't been.
Soon, UFC middleweight GOAT Anderson Silva would follow suit and enters Paul's star-studded list of vanquished foes. Paul suffered his first career loss when he faced an actual boxer in his prime in the form of Tommy Fury, but the margins were close. The YouTube sensation would bounce back with wins against Nate Diaz, Andre August,
Andre needs to be careful about ducking down.
and Ryan Boolin, and earn a shot at the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, who had returned to the cage for an exhibition bout against Roy Jones Jr. in 2020, was more than happy to oblige. The fight was announced in March 2024 and was set to take place 4 months later in July. The build-up to the fight was electric, with Tyson vowing to eat his foe alive.
Following it, or remember you used to spit that stuff out? I'm gonna have to eat it now because my opponent's gonna be raw meat. That's right. I have the same. Wow, it's like animal. It's like you're going to the animal. You're going right to the animal linguistics. You're like, I see it in your eyes. It's getting scary. It's gonna be very beautiful.
And Paul firing back with the very same promise.
Mike, he's a killer. He's a warrior. He's been doing this his whole entire life. So it's second nature to him. I've been doing this for 4 years, and I've been doing it at a super high level, but on July 20th, I'm gonna show the world that I can outbox Mike Tyson and prove everyone wrong and show that I will be the one doing the killing.
The boxing world was instantly hooked, and everybody had their own opinions. Some said Tyson was too old to be fighting a young and hungry guy like Jake Paul, who had devastating knockout power.
Anyone with an ounce of brains knows what that is ridiculous.
Others believed Tyson still had the beast in him.
Mike Tyson's mind has switched over into war. Like, he was doing this interview, and someone said to him, he goes, you look like you're in your 20s. Like, what are you doing? He goes, I just eat raw meat. He's like, I'm eating raw meat. He goes, you're eating raw meat? He goes, yeah, I'm eating raw meat. He goes, because that's what I'm going to eat when I fight.
There were also those who felt that the fight was strange, but still wished to see the legend take the young one's head off. With stacks of cash and massive hype fueling the event, this was set to be a showdown for the ages. But it all came crashing down when Tyson was ruled medically unfit to compete in May, just months before the clash. On May 26th, Tyson needed medical attention on a flight from Miami to Los Angeles just weeks before his fight with Jake Paul. Tyson felt dizzy from an ulcer flare-up about 30 minutes before landing. A call for a doctor was made over the plane's intercom, and the flight was allegedly delayed by 2 hours. Just a day later, Tyson took to Twitter, saying that even if he wasn't feeling at his best, he didn't need to be in perfect shape to handle a guy like Paul. Despite Tyson wanting to stay in it, the powers that be decided it wasn't the right time because of Tyson's past health struggles.
Obviously, devastating news. I'm heartbroken, speechless, gutted. We've been working so hard over here, everyone in this camp, and I just feel bad for everyone involved in this event, the whole undercard. Opportunity has been ripped from all of us, but I do value Mike's health first and foremost. Love that guy. I have so much respect for him, and I want Mike to be healthy. And he says he still is going to knock me out, and I bought myself some time. So Mike is still talking shit over there. But Mike, if you want to do this, like you said, behind closed doors, behind the scenes, you've said you want to do this in Q4. You just need a little bit of time. So I'm ready whenever you are. This is too big of an opportunity. I think this fight's going to change the world, and I turn all my L's into W's. That's a motto I live by, and the universe makes no mistakes. So let's see what's in store. But sorry this didn't work out. To everyone, the fans, love you guys.
Just days before his health scare, Tyson shared on Instagram how miraculous it was that he was gearing up to fight again after a long struggle with sciatica, a condition that brings intense pain, weakness, and numbness from the back down to the leg. Tyson revealed, "It's a miracle because I didn't know what was going to happen with my life. I was scared I was going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. You get so discouraged. When your back hurts, there's nothing I can do. I'm useless." In recent years, Tyson was often seen in a wheelchair, but in late 2023, he began treatment, which seemed to finally bring his symptoms under control. The improvement made it possible for Tyson to consider returning to the ring. However, his latest health scare closed the door on a fight with Paul for the time being. With Tyson out of the equation, Paul set his sights on his next target, and it was former UFC fighter turned bare-knuckle boxing legend Mike Perry.
It's gonna be a fun fight, man. I'm excited for a battle. I do like getting punched, and I like punching too. So we're gonna see 10-ounce gloves, no headgear. I'm gonna hurt you, Jake.
Given Perry's reputation as an aggressive boxer with explosive punching power, many anticipated that the former UFC star would be Jake Paul's toughest opponent yet. Perry was anything but. Inside the ring, Paul completely dominated Perry, sending him to the canvas 3 times to secure what turned out to be a surprisingly easy victory. In the post-fight press conference, Paul only had one name on his mind.
So here we are. He's one of the baddest men on the planet, and you know, if he wants that opportunity and that smoke, he's the one who is like, let's make this a pro fight. I'm gonna end you, and I'm ready for it, and I'm excited for it, and he's a beast.
A month after Paul sent Perry to the Shadow Realm, his fight with Mike Tyson was rebooked for November 15th, and Paul's mom wasn't too happy about it. At least, that's what Paul claimed, and I quote, "My mom is very scared, actually. She keeps on asking me if I'm ready, asking my team if I'm ready, and she's not liking this one. Mike just looks scary and big. His Instagram videos look crazy. So she's like watching all of that and just not liking it." It's no wonder that Paul's mother worries about the former heavyweight champion potentially harming her son. Anyone who's either watched Tyson or shared the ring with him in his prime knows just how lethal he can be, even at 58 years old, when he's facing various health issues.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great. But he try to stay back from Mike. He gonna get caught.
Roy Jones Jr., the last fighter to step into the ring with Tyson in an exhibition match, thinks the social media star can break down the old warhorse. But he also warned him by saying that Paul has never encountered anyone with the kind of ferocious power Tyson brings with every punch.
Okay, with the sense of people like Evander Holyfield and Lewis, these guys are bigger and they can take it, but Jake Paul, I don't think he's going to be able to take that. It might hit him on the chin like that. We'll see, but it's going to be tough.
Lennox Lewis is one of the rare fighters to have a victory over Mike Tyson, and he did it in spectacular fashion with a knockout 22 years ago. If Lewis warns that Paul should be concerned about Tyson's power, then it's time for the YouTuber to take that advice seriously.
It's going to be a real fight. You know this man well. Mike Tyson, he's fighting Jake Paul. What are your expectations for that big fight in Dallas, Texas?
I think it's going to be a good fight. I mean, you know, Mike Tyson, what he does is two-dimensional. He's going to come at you, trying to knock you out. Now, you got to try and stay away from him, stay away from his power. I seen him working out the other day, and he throws some good combinations. So those 6-punch combinations, he has to make sure, I'm talking Jake Paul, make sure that he's not in the way of those punches, because Tyson's a real fighter.
Tyson Fury, who was actually named after Mike, is ready to bet on Tyson even when he's 90 years old. That's how sure he is that Tyson will go out there and get the job done.
They don't care if he's 90. He's going to knock him out cold, isn't he? It's I am Mike Tyson. He's the baddest man on the planet, you know. And Jake Paul's obviously, he's very experienced now. He's had a lot of tough fights. He's had a lot of good fights. So, and he's probably a quarter of the man's age. But obviously I have to back Mike Tyson. I'm named after the legend.
Tyson's former trainer, Teddy Atlas, believes Jake Paul's in for a shock if he thinks facing the veteran will be a walk in the park. According to Teddy, Iron Mike poses a seriously tough challenge for the YouTuber turned boxer, and Paul needs to tread carefully. Otherwise, it could be lights out for him.
With a fighter is his power. I think this is a very dangerous fight for Paul. For me, he's got a lot more to lose than Tyson.
Not everyone's excited about this matchup. In fact, some people are genuinely concerned for Tyson's well-being, fearing that Paul's power and striking ability could result in lasting brain damage for the boxing legend.
58 going up against a 27-year-old. Yes, Jake Paul, I say, isn't a real fighter, okay? He's a businessman, but he can still crack. He can still cause a 58-year-old man damage. And if he can't, then that's the biggest joke out of all of it.
Regardless of what people say, Paul believes he's the biggest fight of Tyson's career, which is a crazy claim to make given how Tyson has fought the who's who of boxing.
It may never happen. This may be the biggest fight of my career. It most certainly is the biggest fight of Mike Tyson's career, which is wild because he's had many, many, many big fights. But somehow, years and years later, him versus me is his biggest fight, and it may be my biggest fight ever.
In his prime, Tyson faced a lineup of fierce opponents so intimidating that a fighter like Paul wouldn't dare meet their gaze if we were living in a different era. But times have changed. Now it's more about showbiz than actual fighting. Yet Tyson, being the fighter that he is, has been training like a maniac, with the aim to take Paul's head off.
You train all day. It starts with the boxing. It starts from what? 11, and then you might be done by 5. And then I'm gonna do strength and conditioning, guys. Then I'm gonna do the weights, and then I'm gonna do boxing and sparring. It's an all-day process. That's when it gets crazy.
Unlike many of Paul's previous opponents, Tyson isn't driven by cash. He's rather fueled by a desire to fight and the rush of scoring knockouts.
This fight is not gonna change my lifestyle financially. I'm a fighter. I feel good and I can do it. And I feel I can beat this guy.
Tyson is oozing with confidence like he always is, but it's hard to imagine him overpowering a young and powerful boxer like Paul. Tyson has openly stated that he intends to hurt Paul in the ring. He knows Paul wants to make a statement by defeating a boxing legend. Yet, as we root for Tyson, there's awareness that Paul possesses the advantage of youth.
The only thing I'm worried about is Father Time. That's one thing that has never been beat. And Tyson's, he's older now. But I pray that he comes out healthy. But I think Jake Paul because of youth. That's the only thing, because of the youth.
The most significant concern for Tyson is age.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, he's probably the biggest name in boxing, you know, that there was. But the man's also 60. You know, I don't know what kind of conditioning. I know he looks great. But, you know, you never really know. And, you know, a 26-year-old against a 60-year-old, I don't know, it don't float my boat.
As fighters get older, their reflexes slow down. Tyson's 58 years old, while Jake is much younger, and his reflexes are still new and shiny. In any sport, let alone boxing, youth often has the edge. And no matter how talented Tyson was in his prime, age is a powerful factor that cannot be ignored. The fight will feature 8 two-minute rounds, which means a total of 16 minutes. Does Tyson have the gas tank to go toe-to-toe with an aggressive puncher like Paul? While it's true that a fighter's power often lasts longer than their speed or stamina, boxing is a marathon, not a sprint. If Tyson can't knock Paul out early, he may tire as the rounds progress, which would favor Jake's chances. The age difference between Mike and Jake is a stark 31 years.
He gets mad when I do this, but Mike's 60, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a shit what I think? It's not my fight. I love Mike Tyson, you know, personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time. I don't know. Let's see what he can go in there and put together a training camp and come in, and you know, I don't like to see guys fighting it. Be a 31-year age difference during that fight. Just you guys know what I think of that stuff.
How many times have we seen an older guy take a butt whooping at the hands of a younger foe? Too many times to feel confident in Tyson's chances to win, especially with health concerns and recurring injuries. Sure, Tyson's fit, but being fit and being ready to fight are two different things. While Tyson may look fit, he must also have the stamina for the intensity of boxing. His physical fitness does not necessarily guarantee he will endure the rigors of a lengthy fight. To make matters worse, Jake Paul is taller and more muscular than Tyson. He weighed 200 pounds in his last fight and could come in at around 220 against Tyson. The size and weight advantage could play a crucial role in the fight.
Yeah, there's definitely slightly more power, but I think the biggest thing is, you know, in the inside fighting and clinches, not getting pushed around by some of these heavyweights. But definitely when I'm jogging,
I'm so much slower. I feel like a rhino or something. Like it's definitely a lot harder to jog.
As far as speed and agility is concerned, Paul may still have the edge since he's known for his unpredictable fighting style. The problem child moves quickly and can be difficult to hit, which might frustrate Tyson. If Jake maintains his movement and avoids Tyson's early power, he can gain the upper hand as the fight goes on. The Disney star has also built his career on confidence and pushing boundaries. His recent victories have only boosted his self-assurance, and if he truly believes he can defeat Tyson, that belief may very well turn into reality. Tyson is oozing with confidence too, so we're pretty even here. As far as mental game's concerned, Paul has shown he can handle pressure, while Tyson's past struggles in high-stakes situations might weigh heavily on his mind. Tyson is an ice-cold assassin, and his mentality is up there with the greatest fighters of all time. For now, Jake Paul has a slight edge heading into this clash of titans. The longer the fight goes, the more it will favor the YouTube star. But if there's one thing we know about Mike Tyson, it's that he can change a fight with one punch. The blockbuster boxing match between former heavyweight champion Tyson and the YouTuber turned boxer is set for November 15th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Will Mike Tyson be the first man to send Jake Paul to the Shadow Realm? Or will the problem child continue to be a pain in the butt for his haters? Let us know your thoughts on the matchup in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next episode. See you in the next one.